Welcome, everybody, live with Achieve Radio here with Dr. Carolyn Dean, and we're so happy to have you here with us this Monday evening. I think we're looking at May 13th, 2019, but who knows or cares about time, and we certainly don't, not when we have so much exciting and wonderful things happening. And, of course, the most wonderful thing of all, and the thing just that never ceases to amaze me, and the thing that I hope that you are all equally inspired about, is that once again our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean has brought herself in and presented herself here tonight in this forum, recorded live for all perpetuity, to ask and answer the question, how can I be a responsible, empowered person and take care of my own physical health, considering that my body is an absolute miracle of epic proportions, the depths of which have not even begun to be understood by chemical science. But what we do know is that it's actually understood by Dr. Dean from the natural perspective. We are in a beautiful biological relationship with the earth, and our body is a mirror of that, and as such, nature has given of its tremendous abundance in order to preserve and to support us in our life here on earth. And there's just no reason why we can't flourish. I am looking out my window at the most beautiful plantscape and landscape here in my own backyard, and I look at all the flourishing things and know that well-being is dominant on the face of this earth, and yet it seems to elude so many. But it has not eluded our very own Dr. Dean. I will go on record once again as saying that she will, in fact, be awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine for her work with translating the very important work of magnesium in the body into the public awareness and ultimately into her formulas, which lead us to the basis of this show, how to have natural health, how to keep it, preserve it, hold it, expand it, and use it to your benefit. And Dr. Dean, being our expert, is not here to give medical advice, but she is here to awaken you, to call you into the remembrance of what you already know, which is how extraordinary your body really is, and what can happen when you give it just a few very basic building blocks to evoke and awaken that nature and to allow it to perform its function. So we're going to talk with her this evening for 2 hours. This is a call-in radio show. 602-666-6027 is the number to call in, and we'll be taking your phone calls this evening, this afternoon, as well as reading your emails through our email bag. We'll be taking your questions through our chat line, and we're going to have a tremendous time. And before, again, I bring her in, I'll just remind you that Dr. Dean doesn't give medical advice, but she will talk about her relationship to what she knows about the body, nature, the body-mind connection, all kinds of good things, the conflict, the basis of disease, and she'll let you know what she would do if it were her in your shoes. And she does know what to do because she's practiced so many things on herself with so much success over so many years. So welcome, 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 Dr. Carolyn Dean. Hello? Hello? Our very own Dr. Dean? Hello?
Hi, it's me.
Okay, there you are. You were muted. Hello, love.
Yeah, I snuck in. Bob was busy, so I snuck in, so I probably didn't do it right. I was starting to mouth off that it's so embarrassing to come on the show after you give me all those accolades. So then I just must have muted myself. Too embarrassed.
Because of course it's not true. No, I know, it's so amazing as the more we go along and the more people who are improved and the more we discover about our formulas and the synergy behind them, and the more you write and present the antithesis of that, which is what's going on in the drug and device community, it convinces me even more and more of your brilliance and your stick-to-itiveness, because you've never given up. And here you are again as a public servant on the radio for free for 2 hours on a Monday evening to say your words and to make yourself available and to answer questions. And I just think it's extraordinary.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, today we've got a show that we'll just kick it right off. Would you like to tell folks what's going to happen later this week with one of our most exciting products?
We are absolutely going to put the Pico Silver on sale a little later this week. That email will come out on Wednesday, and you'll be able to get as much of it as you like for a nice little modest discount. I won't go into too many details because that's Chad's department and how he rigs that all up. But if you're hearing the show tonight or tomorrow and you get inspired about Pico Silver and you think you'd like to get some, we just don't want you to place the order before the sale is announced. So hang on to the information you're getting tonight and then wait for the sale to be announced on Wednesday.
Very good, very good. Now, what we did today, Janice sent out a blog about Pico Silver, and I never clipped the title. Jenny, what's the title of today's blog at drcarolyndeanlive.com?
Update on Pico Silver.
Yes, there we go. So I've been using different types of silver over the years. Colloidal silver is what most people are, we're making and using. And I never had any effect from it. It never stopped anything or helped anything. I just thought, well, I guess I don't need it or whatever. But we'd been recommending certain very good silvers over the years, and finally it just hit me one day that, gosh, we should get our chemist to make us a silver along the lines of the Remag, Remide, Recalcia in the stabilized ionic form. So we did that, and we put it out, and I went to look at the label today, and I realized on the label we put a dose is 1 teaspoon, and to take one dose twice a week. But then the sidebar was if you can take 1 to 6 doses a day, depending on how much of your immune system you want to support. And that, I don't know if that was probably, we made the label after I'd come home from the mainland and woke up the following morning with an airplane cold, sore throat, stuffy, headachy. So throughout the day, I took 6 doses of Pico Silver, and the morning after that woke up perfectly normal. So I realized that, as Ginny would say, you can pound the stuff when you have an illness, and that's different from what we do with our Remag and Remide. Especially Remag, we tell people to slowly introduce it, but the Pico Silver, you can take an amount that will help you with an acute illness and not have any side effects. And we'll get to all that. So we put the silver out because we didn't want a colloidal silver. This is not a colloidal silver, which is just a solution of dissolved silver, a complex of silver, and it's not in a stabilized ionic form, these other silvers. None of them are doing what our silver does because they don't have our chemist. So we put it out, and shortly after we got a call from a customer who offered us something called the Silver Report, a feasibility study of silver hydrogen citrate for use as a nutritional supplement, January 2007. So this is going back 12 years that this report was written. We use that as a third-party information about silver in general. We send people to drcarolyndeanlive.com under the books section to read that report. But it seems it's a long report. I had to read it about a dozen times to really kind of commit it to memory and see all the layers of what was being said. What we have to know about this report is they talk about a nano silver, they talk about ions, and those words do relate to our Pico Silver. We're not talking about as they say here, a silver dihydrogen citrate. Our silver does not have to be bound to anything. It's a stabilized ion. It just goes straight into the body. The other thing that, well, there's so many things to learn from this report, but one of the important things is the quantum nature of ions. Now, we hear about quantum physics, the whole quantum state. Basically and very simply, quantum means that a substance, in this case our ions, can be a particle and a wave pretty much at the same time. So what seems to be happening, and it's probably happening with our Remag and Remite and Recalcia too, Ginny, when you look at the ionic level of these minerals, is that if they're in their wave form, you take a wave that's 5 or 6 feet long, which is the height of a human, and you have one little wave, boom, then that silver, that ion of the minerals we use, goes from your tongue to your toes in an instant. That's what quantum mechanics is. And it sounds like crazy talk, but I know most of the people listening are going to say, oh my gosh, that's right. You know, since I take these minerals, sometimes it's like, boom, they hit me. This is our real sensitive folks, one drop, and their body is reeling because the minerals start to work in the body. So what we've got is, a tiger by the tail. We've got something that gets into the body instantaneously and does some remarkable stuff. And looking at the blog that Ginny put out today at drcarolyndeanlive.com, I do have to preface it by saying that it is illegal in the United States to market any dietary supplement as a treatment for any disease or condition. So that's why we have to say, well, this is what I would do, and we're not talking about disease. We're talking about supporting the structure and function of the body. This is why we send you to the Silver Report so you can do your own research. We are not here to tell you what to do on a medical level for your diseases or your disease conditions, but we'll do what we can within the law. Ginny's overview of silver coming from the Silver Report, it starts out with us introducing silver, the Pico Silver, May 2018. So the whole year we've been using Pico Silver. We've had it out there. We've developed an incredible number of testimonials. It's a 20 part per million concentration. The one we were recommending before was a 10 parts per million, and we appreciate them very much. But as I said, I just wanted to create something that was synergistic with our other minerals. It just made sense, and in doing so, we were able to double the concentration and cut the price in half. So, that's what we're trying to do, is present things to people at a reasonable cost within the confines of us creating these minerals in an 18-step process that is, it's quite expensive. So, but we do it because we want these things to work for you. So it's stabilized silver ions. When you introduce stabilized ions of minerals in your body, incredible things happen. The benefits of silver are well documented in the medical literature. Allopathic medicine is still using silver on burns. They can't find anything better than different silver skin products. And the only reason they're not using silver orally is because it can't be patented, and they would rather use drugs, which cost people a lot of money and make the pharmaceutical industry obscenely wealthy. So the benefits of stabilized, we have the word monatomic silver. That just means one atom, one ion of silver. Create results that are powerful and immediate. It can be confidently declared and scientifically proven that the silver ion is far safer than antibiotics or any other antimicrobial ever created. It's probably illegal for me to say that, but that's the truth of the matter. The characteristics of the silver ion far exceed the capabilities of patented antibiotics, which cannot keep up with bacterial organisms' ability to mutate, nor do antibiotics work against viruses. In addition, antibiotics have many side effects, such as creating yeast infections. This is because antibiotics travel deep into the intestinal tract, where they kill the good bacteria along with the bad. It's also known and documented that taking antibiotics for a long period of time weakens the body's immune system. And that's what we're trying to do with the Pico Silvers, is strengthen and support the structure and function of your immune system. The Silver Report, how many pages is it? About 30 pages. So I fine-tuned it to a number of points here. And you really have to go and read this. You print this up. You go to drcarolyndeanlive.com and print this up. If the 30-page Silver Report is too much information and you keep calling customer service or phoning into the show or putting questions in the mail bag that are answered in the Silver Report, I'm going to start telling you, read the Silver Report or go to this this session in our archives and listen to what I'm saying here, get it into your left brain intellectually, and then intuitively go about taking your Pico Silver. So silver has the highest electrical conductivity of any metal. This is part of the quantum nature of the ions as well, where it will wave through your body instantaneously. And the absorption of the silver ion is nearly instantaneous. I say it's instantaneous. This means the beneficial bacteria in the intestinal tract will not be exposed to the silver ion, which presumably could destroy them. So this was written in 2007. Since then, the next item I have listed is that 5 out of 6 silver ion studies in mammals showed positive or no significant changes to gut microbiome diversity. So they're supporting the microbiome in one study and otherwise not showing any change at all. Silver is not there to attack good beneficial bacteria. The silver ion...
Carolyn?
Yep.
Can I just say this one thing? The thing that I think really explains this is that bad bacteria are just a single cell and good bacteria are a double cell. And Pico Silver attacks the cell wall of a bad bacteria, and it just laces it open, and all the bad goo comes out, and it kills it, whereas a good bacteria has a double-walled cell, and so the Pico Silver, when it bumps up against it, it does not attack it, it does not hurt it, because it's good, it's doubly protected. So you can have total confidence to know that bad bacteria are not being killed by Pico Silver. But antibiotics will kill everything. But Pico Silver will not do that because only bad bacteria with the single wall cell is what it's going to go after. And then it's going to smash it and kill it.
Very good. Okay, yeah, that does succinctly describe what's going on here. Very good. And in a point later on, it actually says silver will mop up the debris that's released by these bad bacteria being exploded. So that's another amazing thing, the mop-up potential. Okay, good. Going on. The silver ion is an integral and important part of the body's immune system response to infections and disease. Yes. The DNA of the body is already pre-programmed to utilize silver to fight infections and disease. Silver ions are absorbed into the bloodstream and transported to all of the tissues of the body and stored on the surface of white blood cells. Now, when you read the Silver Report, all these statements are referenced, so you can look up the references if you so desire. Continuing, the silver ion is bonded to the surface of adult stem cells and causes de-differentiation of the adult stem cells into the embryonic state, leading to tissue regeneration. Now, that's huge. Those studies by Becker, that's something that's just out of this world. Instead of however they're harvesting embryonic stem cells to shoot into people, I would much rather take silver ions and get my body to regenerate naturally. Continuing, new healthy tissue growth is at least 5 to 6 times faster utilizing silver in wound treatment when contrasted with non-silver treatment. That's why, as I said, they still have to use silver in burn units because nothing else can regenerate tissue as well as keep the burnt tissue from getting infected. Continuing, the silver ion aids the body's ability to find the focal point of treatment through the body's cell signaling mechanisms. This is part of its electrical conductivity. Magnesium is a huge cell signaler, and silver similarly. Again, our minerals in their incredible stabilized ionic state are acting at a quantum level as a particle and a wave and waving through your body. Everybody should be having chills at this information. The silver ion aids the body's ability to digest the pathogen. It aids the body in the correction of the associated complex metabolic consequences associated with long-term infectious states. The effect of the silver ions in anti-aging approaches is very promising, as is our REMAG. The silver ion has a beneficial effect upon co-infections simultaneously. So, this is where it has the antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal effects at the same time. The silver ion will readily pass the blood-brain barrier, allowing for interface and intervention with neurological diseases such as ALS, MS, polio, spinal meningitis, and viral encephalitis. It increases the red blood cell count. Now, that's something interesting, and I don't know the mechanism there, but apparently there's a study that shows that. It is known, so here's how it works. These are the big wordy words on this whole process. The silver ion is known to negatively affect bacteria through lethal oxidation and intermolecular electron transfer, resulting in electrocution, a binding and chelating to essential pathogen receptor sites, which defeats the pathogen's mechanisms of invasion into host cells, an ion non-dependent heightened catalytic action, and cleavage, which fragments and thereby destroys essential pathogen proteinaceous structures. That's a big mouthful, but it's all referenced. Once the silver ion ruptures a bacterial staph infection or certain fungal infections, the remaining silver ion particles begin to act as an antidote to the resulting poisons, lessening the Herxheimer reaction. The silver ion has a very high therapeutic value because there's no known lethal dose for silver ions, and there are a number of ways to administer it: oral, transdermal. You can nebulize it or atomize it or vaporize it through a mechanical device. And we end up with all the cellular power you would expect. The testimonials are profound and pervasive. Here's just one. Perry writes this. Fred, our French bulldog, got loose and was hit by a car. We rushed him to the vet. They set his leg in a cast, followed the vet's directions to the letter, but within 10 days his wound became septic and the vet wanted to amputate his leg. Fortunately, my buddy Greg, who's Ginny's husband, rushed over to my house with Pico Silver. We swabbed his leg hourly and added the solution to his drinking water. Within 3 days, his wound was healed, and the vet withdrew his recommendation to amputate. I hope the vet was, profoundly shocked at this. So thank you so much, Dr. Dean, for this product. We now have several bottles on hand. So that's the overview of silver. Now, what I've done is, because I've already accumulated the mailbag questions, I've kind of thrown in a lot of answers along the way, but I'm going to stop and ask Ginny if there's anything to add, or testimonial or anything she wants to add before I launch into the mailbag.
Well, let's just, do the elephant in the room. And it's so funny I just said elephant because, they're gray. And everybody's worried about taking silver and turning silver or gray or blue or whatever. And let's get that out of the way, because we've had the product out for over a year now. Everybody's drinking it like it's water. So many people are taking massive doses and not having any issue, using it in their eyeballs and all the rest of it. So what can we say about the argyria issue and why that's not a factor with Pico Silver? And then we can kind of go on.
Right. Okay, so this cosmetic skin discoloration, which apparently does nothing but color the skin, but I would not want to be blue. I saw a blue silver person once. So what the Silver Report says, it's been established as the sole, quote, adverse event for silver, and it's from silver salts. It's when silver is combined with something else. It's I'm not going to say it's a colloid, because even those don't seem to affect people. It seems to have happened in people who wanted to make their own silver, and they were using electrodes to break down the silver, and out of the electrodes they were using came other substances that bound up to the silver, and it kept silver in the body and then produced this argyria side effect. So this Pico Silver is definitely not a silver salt. It is a stabilized ion of silver. So, yes, the report says the EPA has limited the oral intake of silver to 25 grams over a 70-year period for a 150-pound adult. And, what they're saying is to equivalate that amount, you'd have to begin taking silver at age 15 at a rate of 100 times more than we're recommending every day until age 85. I mean, that makes no sense at all. But the answer is Pico Silver is a stabilized ion. It is not and never will be a silver salt, so it cannot deposit in your skin. It goes in the cells, it does its job. If you don't need it anymore, it is released through the bile, which is wonderful, so that you don't get anything happening in your bile, and it's through the bile and probably through the urine, probably through the bowels. I mean, it just leaves your body after a couple of days. That's in the Silver Report as well. Okay, Ginny, long-winded, but there you go.
No, that's perfect because, yes, I think our dosing is in micrograms. I mean, the silver is in micrograms, and the idea that you would have to have a sustained dose for a period of 70 years at an adult, a recommended dose way beyond what we're recommending, I think it's really good for people to know. So thank you, Carolyn, for sharing that and,
Very good.
soothing that. Thank you.
Right. And then we go on to questions. Could you comment on Pico Silver's effect on Lyme? Well, I don't. We haven't developed studies on this yet. I mean, we're committed to doing studies. We have a research study going on REMAG right now. We will do studies, but to study every known disease is going to be difficult. What I would tell people to look at is the Townsend letter. It's a July 2016. Just Google Townsend, Townsend letter, and Lyme. It's written by a naturopath, called Silver Nanoparticles as a Novel Approach to the Treatment of Chronic Lyme Disease and Associated Diseases. It's a very good article. It talks about how Lyme is difficult to treat because by the time someone has Lyme, their immune system either becomes weakened from the Lyme or they get Lyme because their immune system is so weak, because they also seem to have chronic viral infections, bacterial, parasitic, protozoal infections, chronic fungal and mold infections, she says. So if you want to learn a little bit more about Lyme, you can look at that paper. They call them silver nanoparticles. I think that would be very similar to our Pico silver ions, and probably actually ours would be more stable and therefore more valid. Question. I think many of us are familiar with REMAG. This person is asking, do we start taking it slowly? This is... In the beginning, I mean, it is a dietary supplement. In the beginning, we were just thinking of it as an immune booster. It would appear that the body requires silver, so it can be used daily as a supplement. It does not seem to have the revving up or dying off effects of the other minerals or when you go on a yeast detox. As I said in one of the facts, it actually cleans up after itself, so it doesn't produce Herxheimer. So there is no slowly sneaking up on Pico Silver. Personally, I'm taking 2 teaspoons a day, and I'm going to keep doing that. And heaven forbid if anything else happens to me, oh, yeah, I scratch myself and I spray it on the scratch. Or when I eat too much sugar and I get little staphylococcal boils in my nose, I just put I don't spray into my nose. I just put a couple drops in my palm, take my little finger and dab the boil with the Pico Silver, and boom, it's gone. I mean, people are using it for so many different things, even for athlete's foot and all the off-label uses. We're getting reports. Next question, are Remite and Pico Silver similar? No, they're not. Silver is a whole world of its own. If you've listened to what we've said here, if you look at the Silver report, then you know silver is not equivalent to Remite or similar. Question, for how long is it safe to drink silver? For Candida. There's different information out there. Some say silver will accumulate. That's the silver salts. I've already answered that. For silver, yes, we're putting it in our yeast protocol. Silver is not to be all killed off. This is what you'll learn when you read the book, Reset the Yeast Connection. You're trying to starve the yeast. You're trying to kind of stabilize your yeast in the body because you do need some. And it's difficult. We're having better results now that people are using the Pico Silver, rotating it, or if they have a lot of co-infections, people just take the Pico Silver all the time. And yeast, it creates the environment with all its 178 toxins that kind of put such a strain on your immune system that we do have to keep it under control. I have said for decades that the underlying basis for chronic disease is yeast overgrowth. And then in the when did I write the book? When I wrote the Magnesium Miracle, late 90s, I realized, well, magnesium deficiency is the second big cause of chronic disease. So we're having good results balancing people's immune system, supporting the structure and function of their body so that their body is compatible with a certain level of yeast, and so that the yeast is not going into its invasive stage. Next question, how much Pico Silver should I take during dental work? She has periodontal disease, which is being treated by ultrasonic deep cleaning. She's had a cracked tooth extracted last week and a dead tooth being removed tomorrow. So she's wondering what to take during the dental work. Personally, I would be taking about 3 teaspoons a day. And if anything hurts or is irritated or seems infected, or the doctor wants to put a person on antibiotics, then I would move up to the 4 to 6 teaspoons a day. It's tasteless. You can take it straight and switch it around your mouth. You can put it in water and swallow it. You can take it with your other minerals. This is a sort of testimonial. I want to say last week we talked about Mother's Day, or maybe it was in a blog, but she's saying, love this article and the one previous to it regarding helping mom on Mother's Day by using the Remag lotion rather than placing it in water. It's Randall. It's our buddy, good friend Randall. He says he loves the taste of the minerals, but his mom doesn't, and she would rather listen to her doctor who told her, yes, Helen, you can have your glass of red wine at night, and making water intake her second choice. So he ordered more lotion. She can slather that all over herself, and she can have her wine and do whatever she wants to do as long as she gets that Remag lotion going. So thank you, Randall, for that. Next question, does Dr. Dean think there will be an advantage to taking Pico Silver with a liposomal delivery system? No, Steve. Just think about what I said. We're dealing with silver at the quantum level. It's an ion that goes in your mouth, and it's at your toes instantaneously. You do not need to mess around with liposomal delivery systems, and anybody who says you do is just trying to sell you something. Question, still struggling with severe shingles scars after 15 months, have neuralgia and skin sensitivity to clothing. Will Pico Silver and or Renew Serum help? I started last week putting Remag lotion on it once a day. So yes, the Remag lotion can help. The Pico Silver can be sprayed on. Renew Serum will help to heal that up. I have this little story that when I first started using the Pico Silver for that airplane cold, I was having a weird sort of itchiness on the side of my ribs, and I wondered after it went, after a few days of Pico Silver, I wondered if I was having a little tiny issue with herpes zoster, chicken pox reactivation. So the two of the three products, or all 3 products, should help heal up that neuralgia and skin sensitivity. Question, would Pico Silver help kill off Candida? I've already mentioned about that. You don't want to kill it all off. You have to come to terms with your yeast overgrowth and I guess in a sense not think it's the enemy. It's like, I know you're trying to help me. I've been feeding you too many antibiotics and sugar and had too much stress, and you think you have to grow even bigger colonies than I want you to, but just back off a bit. And in the total biology world, it's very bizarre because German New Medicine Total Biology says that funguses are around our body to chew up unwanted tissue. If we have abnormal growth, which may be diagnosed as cancer, there's often fungus among that growth to try to get rid of it, digest it. And, here comes some doctors who think, cancer is caused by yeast. We have to use antifungals for cancer. And it's quite the opposite. So all these things, take with many grains of salt. Just don't get too carried away by trying to define everything and everybody, and don't be fearful. A lot of people are taking supplements now out of fear. They're treating their fear. They're not treating the structure and function of their body. And actually, one of the questions that I have to address by email, but, let me see if I can find it. This person, Vicky, is saying, I read a lot of things about supplements, this and that one being the best and most potent, etc. I do realize that the soils are being depleted and that the foods we have today don't come close to healthy foods 100 years ago, but all these supplement providers, even organic ones, claim theirs are the best. Where are these people, including you, big capital letters, including you, Dr. Dean? Where am I getting these good vitamins? Well, we're only, yeah. I love it when people attack me. I just love it. Where are these crops growing? How are they growing? How are they possibly immune from all the airplane spraying, the EMF, the exposure, air pollution, water pollution, et cetera, et cetera? And just what makes the lands the lands where these grow so special and better. I still take your magnesium and remite because I know I need extra magnesium and trace minerals, and I believe they help to a degree. So this person has got herself all kind of wound up in a real rabbit hole of concern. And what I've said many times before is why I created this company was to make sure that the supplements we used were the best. What you do is you get a company, the supplements of which you are taking, to provide you with a certificate of analysis of the product. That certificate analysis will tell you the arsenic level, the lead level, the everything level. And then you will know that it is not exposed to all the pollutions that you mentioned, Vicki. Certificate of analysis. We have them on all our products. Our companies that make our products have certificate of analysis of every ingredient. This is what the FDA is very helpful for. And the companies they go after, they don't even provide certificate of analysis. They'll sell a product, be gone when the FDA comes after them, and then create another company. So that's how you know. And how we know, we don't have many vitamins. We just have the B vitamins. Oh, yeah, we'll have a vitamin C soon. But the B vitamins in our Real line, well, half of them are food-based, and we have the certificate of analysis. The other half are grown in a laboratory environment on B vitamin foods, so they are considered organic. And our minerals, of course, are awesomely created and have their certificate of analysis. Am I leaving anything out of that, Ginny, how we keep our products so pure, pure, pure?
Well, yeah, what you said, intention. I mean, that's just like saying cars kill people and none of us should have one. That's not true. And so, no, I agree. It's actually in our process. It's in our design. And, we can do or have anything we want. We wanted to have extraordinary products.
Mm-hmm. Right. And, I'm afraid this person, has gotten herself, as I said, kind of wound up in all this. And there are ways of making sure you're taking something pure. That's all. Okay.
Right, and the Internet does have people wound up with mistrust and stuff like that, and, and so that's the unfortunate part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. a lot of these fly-by-night supplement companies. I mean, we've got that happening to us right now. A company that just put out a liquid magnesium from the Utah lakes, which we know has got nothing to do with Pico meter ionic stabilized ions, and they've stolen our trademark words, Pico ionic. So when people go searching for our products and maybe know about Pico ionic, they'll get distracted by these other products. And how do you stop that? I mean, we have a trademark. It is illegal for people to use our trademark, but they'll do it. So what is that? I mean, some people say, "Oh, that's business," but we're taking it on. We will not let these people mess with us, will we, Ginny?
No, absolutely not, because people do have to be able to rely on something that is, wonderfully constructed and very beneficially made, and we have to protect our investment, because the more success we have with Remag and the more people are coming around to the awareness of what the impact of magnesium is, and the more we educate people about the importance of stabilized ions in picometer form that are highly absorbed, the more people are going to try to emulate that. And flattery, imitation is the highest form of flattery, but there's only one Dr. Dean, so we've got to keep everybody in check.
Yeah, the corollary to imitation is the highest form of flattery is imitation is the highest form of battery. Isn't that funny? But you can't batter down these walls, man. We have got them built so stabilized. We have ions all over us. Anyway, it's interesting that I'm done with the questions, but a testimonial right at the end of them says, I want to let you know that Realign is the best bee supplement that I have ever taken. And I've been studying since the 70s. It's the only one that I can feel working. So there you go. Take them and feel them. It's like the steps of ascension. It's like the steps of creation. You create something, you put it into words, and then you don't mess with it. So what's happening with the internet is people are messing with your decision to maybe take our products. I have another kind of a teaching story in a sense where look at what this poor woman had to go through. I just got back from a new doctor. When I told her I was taking magnesium, she wanted to add a magnesium blood test along with my other blood work. I said I thought you could not get an accurate magnesium level from blood work. She said she wanted to know if I was taking too much, and if I was, it would show up in the blood. So I wrote back to her and I said, if they took the blood right there and then, it might show high because you have to stop at 12 to 24 hours before taking your blood. Some labs say to stop for a week, but I personally can't be without my Remag for that long. So that's where some of the high bloods can come from, where they just do a test on the spot and don't tell you to stop it. The writer says, the doctor said if there was too much, it will stay in the blood and accumulate, causing me trouble. And I said, never. She's wrong. You get the laxative effect if there's too much. And the way they got these side effects with too much magnesium was intravenous dosing of magnesium in the hospital. Continuing, I said, I thought your body just got rid of it if you took too much. She said, no. Again, she said it accumulates in your blood, and no, it doesn't. So then she says, now my stress level is kind of going up. She also recommended I take 1,200 milligrams of calcium and to add vitamin D. So how stupid is that, listeners? So I wrote to her, the calcium pills are only 4% absorbed, and that is the mineral that builds up, not magnesium. Wow, she has got it all backwards and wrong. And then this doctor wanted to do a bone density test. I told her I already knew I have thin bones from a test they did a few years ago. And I said, and then she'll want to put you on a bone drug, continuing. She did everything she could to get me to agree to a Pap test. I'd had a hysterectomy, and I'm celibate. And she continues with her stress level. She says, wow, wish I had stayed home. Help! And I said, there's no need for a Pap test unless you have a partner. And then she continued, I can't tell you how stressed out I am right now. And I said, just look at her as a salesman trying to drum up business. The more tests they do, appropriate or not, the more money they make, and the more things they can find to prescribe drugs for. It's a business. She said, I've been feeling good about taking care of myself for the past 2 years. Now this doctor has me questioning everything. Now there you go. This is what's going on in medicine, where someone is doing their best to be healthy and doing all the right things, and then their doctor, who is the authority, will tell them, oh, magnesium is not good for you. Take calcium and vitamin D, which will cause your magnesium to plummet and start to calcify your body. I mean, it's just, what do we do? What do we do? That was a question to you, Jenny.
Yes, I know. It's too much. It's too much. I wanted to say something too, Carolyn, about shingles. Because you know how many shingle testimonials we've had. Did we talk about that?
No. Tell me.
Yeah, well, you know, we've had a lot of shingle testimonials. And the way that a lot of people are using it for the Pico Silver is just putting it in a spray bottle and then spraying it, layering it on their skin in the area that's really bothering them. And the common reaction is that what happens is they stop spreading, then they get less red, and then some even will, break open to heal type of a thing. But it'll put that stuff in check. And take it orally, too, if you're having an outbreak. So, there's just some super cool and groovy magic in that little silver bottle, and I would want to have some on hand. I will say this weekend, my beloved had conjunctivitis weirdness in his eyeball. Not even sure how that happened. He just all of a sudden, bam, his eye just started running and getting all red and everything, and he used the Pico Silver in an eye wash, and it was gone.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just fun. It's so much fun. So much fun. And
that's beautiful. Yeah.
One person typed in and said, to be honest, I wasn't taking the silver because of the antibiotic qualities or anti-life for the good bacteria as well as the bad. Now, after this show, I can confidently take it. Thanks, CW. Oh, that's Shannon. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Shannon. Yeah, no issue. Antibiotic properties of Pico Silver are pro-life. Pico Silver's pro-life. Yay!
Yeah. Oh, I know. And stem cells? Are you serious?
I know.
To be able to influence stem cells, and people are going all over the world because I think stem cell therapies have been outlawed here, and who knows what they're getting into. And a person who I know who was funding stem cell clinics, he told me, well, it does seem to work, but then if they don't follow lifestyle and get their nutrients, whatever they had just comes back. So, what we keep saying is let's support your whole body for every reason, and your body will get in line. It will support you. And we're supporting you supporting your body, that's all.
Yeah. The thing that I noticed about, Pico Silver when I first started taking it, not so much now, is made me high. It just made me happy.
Oh.
And Julie in customer service said the same thing. I think it was just, that it's like a car wash, that little sub-infectious layer of crud that's, right underneath your skin that's just kind of dragging down your energy a little bit. And you put Pico Silver in there and just get it to start getting some of that stuff out there, and the next thing you know, you've got a nice little whack of energy. So I think it's very, very fun. And you can put it in a nebulizer, and you can put it in your neti pot, and you can put it on your skin, and people are using it in eye washes, and you can, use it for your ears to help your ear canals, but use it with the toothpick. I mean, it's just super fun.
No, not a toothpick. No toothpicks in the ear.
What did they say? Oh, toothpick, Q-tip. Sorry.
Well, and I should talk. I've burst my own eardrum before, so, Uh-oh. See you next hour. Thanks, Jenny. Great hour.
You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is achieveradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
AchieveRadio.com. Here we go now. Go to the Carolyn. Here we go now. Here we go now. The wellness scene with Dr. D.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com, and we're just getting all giddy, talking about our products as per usual, and just what fun and joy we have spreading them all around the world and letting people know of their extraordinary opportunity to take responsibility for their health and not rely so much on drugs and devices. I mean, we live in a society where that stuff is just pumped into our home every night, and sometimes I just hear those side effects, and I'm like, good Lord, what on earth? When I know that there's a better way. So we're happy to have Dr. Dean here with us this evening. 602-666-6027 is the phone number to call if you'd like to talk to Dr. Dean tonight, and honestly, probably everybody should at least once in their lifetime, if not many times, get a chance to talk to Dr. Dean. She's the coolest. And when you call into the phone, which there's lots of callers here, please hit *5 on your keypad, *5. We'll raise your hand on the board here and let me know you have a question or comment. Otherwise, you remain on hold, and then I don't know that you have something you want to say or want to share with Dr. Dean. And also, there's a couple questions on the chat line, Carolyn, so let's answer those real quick. And one of the questions is, We can use Pico silver in a nebulizer, so we talked about that. Somebody asked about where to find the silver report, and the silver report is at drcarolyndeanlive.com, and I put a link to that in the chat line here on the show. And then Maria from Australia, hello down under. Maria typed in and said, for staph on the skin, is it best to apply Pico silver on the skin or take it topically, or should I do both?
I would do both.
Very good. Excellent. And let's see, what else do we have here? And then Mary is typing in and asking a question about a natural fiber glucomannan that contributes to weight loss. Do you know anything about this fiber or this product?
No, we don't do fatty things like that, Mary. This is not that type of show. We have a serious protocol that we focus on, and if someone is looking at a weight looking for weight loss, then we send people to our book, Reset Your Ideal Weight. I'm trying to hide from that other phone. I'm sorry for the noise. But, yeah, it's, there's a million products out there, and they will advertorial you know, like an editorial advertisement for pages and pages, and you'll think, oh my gosh, this is the best thing in the world. And how many times have we been suckered in and we buy something and it's nothing what they say. You're buying the words. So no, unless you can Google my name and glucomannan and find I've never talked about it. That's how you find out what I think of things. So thank you, Mary. I'm sorry if I came across as critical of you, but we are into bigger and better things. We're into helping you ascend your health to the point where, I had this running through my head on my walk this morning, Ginny, where, the teachings of Jesus, where Jesus said you can do this and much greater things about his healings. We can take our own health in our hands. We do not have to give ourselves over to advertorials or this doctor that was trying to hack away at our customer because she was trying to take care of herself. If you tell, certain type of doctor that you're taking some, very good things to help you, they will chip away at you and make you feel less than. They put people in a less than position and put them on drugs and the drugs and devices that Ginny talks about. That's all they're into. And you have to be really wary of all these other things that are out there chipping away at you and your self-esteem and your health.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I agree completely. Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah. Yeah, very, very good. Very good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, let's see. Where else are we on our chat line? Dana in Kentucky, I was recently stung multiple times by a wasp. I thought about using Pico silver on it. It relieved the stinging and burning sensation, and I experienced none of the usual swelling. I also have an itchy scalp and started putting it on my scalp after washing my hair. No more itching, good stuff. Oh, Dana, that's lovely. I was thinking about that because is not dandruff sometime and scalp itching, is not that related to yeast and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
It could be something for dandruffy.
Wow.
Right.
Oh, yeah, very good. They use antifungal shampoos for scalp dandruff. Wow. Look at all this stuff that we could be using it for. We really appreciate people telling us this. Awesome.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Thank you, Dana. I wonder if it would make your hair even shinier. I might try it. Okay, David says, I've been confused by the directions, though. Can I simply add the silver into my Remag and Remite and take it daily as needed?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, David. That's what everybody does. That's what a lot of people do, not everybody. I do have one or two people who kind of, think that taking it on an empty stomach is ideal. That's their experience of it. So I don't know what the differentiation would be. What do you think, Carolyn?
I don't think it matters. I mean, if you're treating something acute, then you're going to be taking it with food, without food. So the body will sort it out. That's what I think.
Okay, very good. Excellent, excellent. Okie dokie. Rose typed in and said, "Hi, Dr. Dean and Ginny. I'm a new user of Remag, Remite, and Realign due to a years-long bout of tinnitus, ear fullness, and headaches. After 2 weeks on these products, the tinnitus has greatly reduced." That is a call for celebration. Rose, one moment, please.
Wow.
There's just nothing more annoying than that stupid symptom. Okay, question. I am currently taking a product called Preventa Migraine. Oh, that's a cute name, Preventa Migraine, that has a high dose of riboflavin, 300 milligrams of magnesium, feverfew, and butterbur. Do you think I can stop taking this supplement and just take your product? Thank you.
Well, the riboflavin, we have that in our Realign, of course, and they're using some research about the B vitamins. Feverfew is good for headaches as well, but it sounds to me if you were taking Prevent the Migraine and you were still having tinnitus, and you started taking our products and the tinnitus is improving, that's your clue that these products are being better absorbed for you. I would slowly wean off the other one and maybe finish it up. But the magnesium, I've tried to look it up. I can't even find this product. But Preventium, is it, Ginny? Prevent migraine.
Prevent a migraine. Prevent a migraine.
Prevent a migraine. Because it's always interesting to me. I can't find it. Prevent a migraine supplement? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, let's see. Just Prevent a Migraine, PREVENTA-MIGRAINE. It's on Amazon.
Oh, I'll go to Amazon. Because it's always interesting to see Prevent migraine, what form of magnesium they use in these drugs. Here we go. Nice bottle. And it's nice that it's a magnesium citrate, so it's 200 milligrams per capsule. So, I mean, personally, when I was having my heart palpitations, I would have had to take, 1,200 milligrams a day. So I'd have to take 6 capsules. So this bottle would last me 10 days. Now, the riboflavin in here is 200 milligrams. That's a way too high dose. That's like a drug dose of riboflavin. And it's not really recommended to take high dose of any one B vitamin. It's 11,765% of the daily value.
Wow.
Yeah, basically that's not good. So, I personally wouldn't be taking this. What is it? $31 for a container of 60. And, if you just take one a day or even 2 a day, you're not really getting enough magnesium because, anyway, enough said, let's move on.
The answer is yes, you can definitely work with the Remag, Remite, Realign, and probably, like Carolyn said, since you were already taking that and then you started with our products and you've noticed the improvement, the beneficial Bs in the Realign, especially the B6, working with the highly absorbed Remag, is going to do the very thing that this is doing and much more at a much higher level of efficiency. So, yeah. I think you're good. Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Wonderful. All right, Rose. No need to worry. It has all been resolved by Dr. Dean. We're all good now. No need to worry. Okay, excellent. What else do we have going on? People, who would like to talk to Dr. Dean? *5 on your keypad. *5 will raise your hand and let us know you have a question or comment. Right now, nobody is raising their hands, Carolyn. They're just, once again, being soothed by your voice.
or chastened by my voice. Go and do your own research, people. Read the Silver Report, or I'll read it for you. That's what I'm doing. Okay, I did a blog. Melody Rose said I hadn't been talking about my blogs because we've got so much else to say, but I did one called Sugar Equals Diabetes, period. And the comment came from a couple of people. What a refreshingly direct, clear, and powerful summary of the 800-pound gorilla in the modern world of nutrition and drug-fueled medicine. Great job and timely message, maybe especially on a day like today, Mother's Day, with all its great focus on nurturing and care. And that was written by Wayne, and I said, yes, Mother's Day, where sugary treats are unfortunately equated with love. I got a free scoop of ice cream at Lappert's last night because I displayed myself as a foster mother. So there. Another comment. Someone loved that blog on sugar equals diabetes. The negative impact of sugar needs this kind of exposure. Looking forward to your book. I'm doing a book on sugar. I'm having it proofed right now. And a question. Now, this is interesting. A customer asked me what I thought of an article about something a hair analysis practitioner called the calcium shell to define calcification that he supposedly is finding on a hair analysis result. And this practitioner equated this, quote, calcium shell with psychological manifestations. So what I looked into this, they just say the word calcium shell when they find a hair analysis with a very high level of calcium in the hair. And I just said it's partly BS and partly complexifying hair analysis, which makes it impossible for the average practitioner to be able to explain a hair test to their clients. And I continued on. A few years ago, I checked out hair analysis again, and I didn't see that it could enhance anything that we were doing with our minerals. If you treat based on a hair analysis without using minerals that are well absorbed at the cellular level, then you just don't get anywhere. That was my impression of the complex people that I had hair analysis done on, and a certain practitioner tried to decipher them. So I decided to drop the whole hair analysis field because practitioners were trying to make it out to be more than it is, some sort of esoteric, complex, even intuitive field. And the live blood analysis people did the same thing with their technology of looking at a drop of blood under the microscope. And I think, maybe they had a little bit of psychic intuition and they were just reading the blood through their own intuition. I don't know, but it just didn't make sense. Not scientific, not replicatable. And when you think of hair analysis, you can't get the roots out. You're not going to strip your hair of the roots. You're cutting a section of hair that was bathed in your blood 3 months prior, and then making decisions about what a person should take. And so I say the best way to work with minerals is to use the Remag, Remite, some Recalcia, and Pico Silver to slowly introduce the necessary building blocks that everybody and every cell requires. We can't interpret the hair test results that are 3 months old in order to treat someone today. So instead of bobbing and weaving, just take daily minerals in low amounts, except magnesium you're going to take in high amounts, and let the body do the rest. when I read the whole paper by this hair analysis practitioner, he said sodium and potassium are the body's solvent minerals. They keep calcium and magnesium in solution in the blood. Well, that's just not true. So this was the start of the paper. And then he continued, if the level of these minerals, sodium and potassium, become low, then calcium and magnesium will begin to precipitate out of the blood and form hard deposits. Magnesium does not precipitate out of the blood. In hair mineral analysis, this is called a calcium shell and or a magnesium shell. So it's just they're making it up as they go along. So I said, this really doesn't make any sense chemically, because when you mix calcium carbonate, like a rock of calcium carbonate with NaCl, which is salt, will the calcium dissolve? No. Calcium carbonate is poorly soluble and precipitates while sodium chloride remains in solution, whereas it's magnesium that keeps calcium in solution. So I don't know. I mean, it's just like the whole premise of what this article was about, and all this business about a calcium shell was just based on the wrong information. And then they went into the treatment program, include supplementing with calcium and magnesium. And in addition to calcium, he talked about eating high calcium-rich foods. I don't know. I mean, we're talking about too much calcium, and he's treating with calcium and saying eat fish with bones and raw dairy and kelp and drinking carrot juice, 10 ounces of carrot juice a day, which is very high in sugars. And then a lot more supplements recommended, and saunas, which will sweat out your minerals, including magnesium. So it's just a bunch of words. I'm just so appalled by these supposedly highly respected practitioners that are just making things up and getting people to email me about what's going on. And I appreciate it. I like delving into these things, like this last Prevent the Migraine supplement with 200 milligrams of one B vitamin. It's gone off the rails, Jenny. The only people to listen to are you and me.
Well, I'm just listening to you and repeating everything that you say. Don't listen to me. Listen to Dr. Dean. And then listen to your body.
Lost you, Jenny. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
Bob's making noise in the kitchen, and I apologize.
Oh, no problem. Should we take some phone calls?
Sure.
Okay, let's go to area code 626-626. You're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
My name is Rachel Baranka, and I'm brand new to your products. I ordered the Remag and the minerals, and I started. My main question is, why do I have to put Remag with salt and water? Why can't I just take it all at one time?
A couple of reasons. Was it Rachel?
Yes.
Yes. Our water supply has no minerals in it anymore. We have to filter it. It's filtered at the water stations. If you buy bottled, it's either distilled or reverse osmosis. No minerals anymore. So that's why the sea salt is important. And then when you take the Remag especially, you want to kind of drip it into your body over time. If you take a whole teaspoon at once, then you'll overload the cells, and it'll just be wasted. It'll go out in the bathroom, and so it's just a big waste. So those are the two reasons.
Okay, because that's what's happening. I'm having diarrhea.
Right, yeah. So, yeah. There you go.
And I have a water distiller. I make my own distilled water.
Oh, yeah. And distilled water, if you drink that long enough, it pulls minerals out of your body. And, I can't tell you to stop using it, but certainly put sea salt in that water for the 72 minerals that we should be getting from good spring water.
Being concerned about my family, what water unit do you feel is the best for a family to use?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. What I've been recommending over the years a gentleman that wholesales over the internet. Let me see if I can find him under water purifier. Yeah, because sometimes, getting a whole family to put salt in their water can be a bit of a task.
Well, I'm just saying I'm concerned about them. They're all grown and gone. I'm 72 myself. I mean, I would have to convince them of this way of life anyway. But
right.
The unit I saw on the internet was the stainless steel unit. One unit sits on top of the other. The top unit has filters, and you fill the top unit up, and then it drips through the filter, so there's no electricity used. I forgot the name of it.
Right.
I forgot the name.
Right. That sounds reasonable, because what you're mainly trying to get chlorine out of the water. Oh, here it is, Rachel. It's Pure Earth, pureearth.com. A gentleman named Jeff sells wholesale to the public, and you can get his phone number at pureearth.com and tell him your concerns, because some areas have fluoride, some areas have chlorine. Those are the two things you want to get out. Most of the diseases and the heavy metals are gotten rid of at the water treatment plants, or else everybody would be getting sick. So mainly it's the chlorine and fluoride. Okay?
Okay. And so I should do the magnesium slowly with the salt.
Correct.
And just sip it all day. And I start with 1/4 of a teaspoon.
Correct. That's right. It's just so powerful. It jumps into the cells right away, and there's 1,000 different enzyme processes that magnesium works on, and magnesium is responsible for 80% of known metabolic functions. So, not in your case, it sounds like, but in some people who are really sensitive, they will start feeling too revved up, and they think, this is bad for me. It's doing weird things, but it's just waking up all those enzymes.
Now, I buy a silver shield from a company called Nature Sunshine.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How does that compare with the one you are talking about?
I know Nature.
There's 100 mcg colloidal and ionic silver.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Right. And when you've used that, have you used it and felt that it was helpful?
We've used it lately on my great-grandson that has eczema, to clean it before they apply the aloe plant. And I've used it on my teeth when I've had teeth aches.
Right.
I've used it on a Q-tip for my ears when they're itching, which I'm sure is candida, or they wouldn't be itching. I know that.
All I'd say is I know that they don't have our technology of stabilizing the ion. It does appear to be close to twice the cost of ours. What you might do is just the next time you need to buy a silver, buy the Pico silver and see how you feel on it. I know personally I've tried others and they didn't do anything for me. So we just know our technology is the only one of its kind, and we know that the stabilized ions are what do most of the heavy lifting in the body. So, I mean, that's how I would approach it.
So to me, it sounds like you're saying it's something we need to take every day.
I believe that. I really do. When I put the first label out, we might have to change our label, Ginny. I said take a teaspoon twice a week because I just thought it was going to help boost the immune system. But, you know, with everything coming at us, with the way they're talking about these ions being able to help tissue regeneration, the fact that we do have layers of infection, you know, your itchy candida ears and all, I think a teaspoon or two a day is what our modern society requires.
Okay. I've used. My friend used it with a gangrene foot from diabetes, and in 7 days he didn't have to have it amputated.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That and why aren't doctors talking about these miracles? It's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, the man was going to have his foot amputated, and we just recommended that he drink it as much as he could and soak his foot 4 times a day, and then the 7th day they canceled the surgery.
Oh my gosh! Spread the word.
Yeah, I've done it. I've spread the word for many a year myself, but I've been making distilled water for years. I didn't know that it was going to eventually hurt me. I just felt like it was the purest water I could get in me.
Well, the thing, and what I'm saying is water is supposed to be the way we get minerals. The story I tell is about in the mountains when the spring snow melt comes and the ice scrapes through the rocks and all that is deposited in the streams. All those minerals end up in the water, and that's what people are supposed to drink. And what we've done at the outlet of the rivers, when they go into the ocean, we make that where we put up our homes or we make our farms, and nobody's getting pure spring water anymore. And then all the things that are sold, all the waters that are sold, you look on the back of the label, they will say distilled water or reverse osmosis. If it's a spring water, they'll heavily label that, but it's much more expensive. So, I mean, we're all backwards. And then, as you know, our food supply, the soil is all farmed out of the minerals. That's the big thing about magnesium. 100 years ago, we could get 500 milligrams in a daily diet. Now we're lucky to get 200. So that's why everybody's suffering. 80% of our metabolic functions are not functioning.
And what do you think of this high alkaline water that everybody seems to be hot on?
Yeah, it's another fad. I got pulled into it years and years ago, but common sense tells you that the stomach is acid. The stomach is acid for a reason, to kill organisms, bacteria we swallow with our food, to help digest our food, to help break down the minerals into the ions that can be absorbed. And if we're pouring alkaline water into our stomach, then the stomach immediately has to acidify that alkaline water, so it's like taking an antacid all the time. I mean, we talk about wanting to have a more alkaline pH of the body, but it doesn't start by killing our stomach acid. It happens when you balance the body with the correct diet. So that's another huge myth.
So if we've been told that this silver that I use stays on our skin at least a minimum 4 hours, so that means it's protecting you when you go out and there's something to catch. Is that true with your silver also? When you're spraying it on, of course, your face and hands?
Right. Yeah, I haven't talked about it that way. I know a customer, dear customer up in Canada, Joan, she says she sprays it on her hands and her face when she has to go into the hospital for anything or into a mall. I hadn't thought of using it like that. I would just be taking it twice a day orally, and it will take care of everything.
Yeah, that's true. So I should take a fourth a teaspoon of the Ray Mag with a fourth a teaspoon of the sea salt, the good sea salt, and sip it all day. And then how much of the mineral should I take?
It's all laid out in the guidelines. If you got some paperwork with your package, it's all laid out step by step.
Okay. All right. I'll look at it again.
Yeah, now that you know why we're talking about it in that way, to dribble it into your body slowly, then you'll see the brilliance of our words. Okay, Rachel?
I did dribble it in 2 days, and I still was getting a bit of diarrhea.
Well, that's where you would email our customer support. We have an FAQ on what to do then. Sometimes it's the body just kind of detoxifying as...
okay.
Yeah. So...
Okay. You know what, yeah. Dr. Dean, you're a gift from God. I, late at night, could not sleep and turned my iPhone on. I don't have a computer, and I live here by myself and raise my kids and my grandkids, and I have had heart palpitations, and they've gotten worse and worse. And all of a sudden, there you were on my iPhone, and you were just a gift from my God that He gave me, because your Remag has helped my palpitations like crazy.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You're a real answer to prayer, and God put you on my phone, because I don't even know how to work Facebook or anything else. You all of a sudden were there when I turned it on. So that was God answering my prayers.
Hallelujah. That's just fun. That's fabulous. And
Amen.
Rachel, amen. Yeah, keep in touch and, use customer service or call in again, because, you have real questions. We don't want you to have loose bowel movements when we can tell you how not to have loose bowel movements, okay?
Now, you come on at 4 o'clock on Mondays?
Depends on what's your time zone.
I'm in Los Angeles, California. I don't know. I guess I don't know what I am. Pacific time?
Yeah, they're Pacific, yeah, 4 o'clock.
So it would be 4 o'clock, and you're on for an hour?
2 hours. You're in the second hour with us now, Rachel.
Oh, wow. That's out of sight. That's wonderful. I've been telling all kinds of people about you. I said, you better look up this doctor. If you want help, you better look up this doctor. So you're a real blessing. You're an answer to prayer, and I thank you very much.
Oh, and thank you. Really appreciate you calling in. Great questions. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, excellent. What a sweet pea. That was just precious. Thank you, Rachel. 602-666-6027 is the number to call if you have a question or comment. We'll put you on the line with Dr. Dean. Still about 20 minutes to the top of the hour, so we can take a few more phone calls. Wanted to also just run through a little bit here on the chat line. Yes, and you know what we used to say. Let me just digress for a second. We used to say, Rachel, that there is Dr. Dean's radio archive is at Studio D on achieveradio.com. And when people were having a particularly anxious time or they were feeling very hopeless about their health, we would just tell them to turn on Studio D and listen to the radio archives and try to soothe their mind and just feel kind of the energy of the show and just know that everything is possible and your body will definitely heal itself. So just hang in there. But Studio D is a great place to hang out, too. And isn't that sweet that Ian just threw her on or you on her iPhone, Carolyn? Isn't that cute?
Yeah, that is wonderful. Yep, perfect.
Yeah,
You're right where you should be. You're right where you should be,
right.
Rachel.
That's right. So Barbara is typing in, I'm trying to use Pico Silver to help heal an ankle wound that hasn't healed in 6 months. How much can I take?
Well, I don't know what the wound is. Let me just tell you about wounds. When I get a wound or anyone near me, I will take a clay, and instead of mixing the clay powder with water, I will mix it with Pico Silver. And I will put that clay on a wound to draw out an infection and inflammation. This can be used for a boil or just something, a boil or a bite or whatever. And that will adhere the Pico Silver to the wound for, put a Band-Aid over it. You leave that on overnight. Otherwise, we just tell people to spray it as much as you can, but just think of it as a poultice. You can really get that Pico Silver into the wound area. I'm not saying it's for you, Barbara, but that's just a general thing for wounds. There are companies that have gels and with this and that, but the clay, I would think, is the best way to poultice a Pico Silver to a wound. What do you think, Ginny? You like that idea? Is that something new for you?
I do. I love it. I think it's wonderful. Yeah, and you don't have to take it orally. You can take it locally. Absolutely. Yeah, and you just until it works. Let's see. Now, the other thing here is Charlene's typing in and saying, is eating liver, brain, and bone marrow helpful, along with Remag and Remite and Realong for overall nutritional health to prevent, etc., I guess just random acts of unhealthiness, or are they unnecessary, she's asking Charlene, for vitamin, joints, and brain nutrition, vitamin, joints, and brain nutrition.
Right. People used to eat all the bits of an animal. You would have to be sure it was organic. We eat organic chicken liver here, and that's for the blood and to support the liver. That's where the supplement companies got into using what they call protomorphogens, which is it's just a big word for taking organs and putting them in tablets. You just have to make sure it's organic, and if you have the taste for that, I know our guest from October, the former vegan vegetarian, she's gone gung-ho into eating some raw meats. She went from vegan over to raw meats, but I think she cooks some things. I don't know if you're on the chat that you could say anything about that, Shannon. But, yeah, it's a preference. I don't think anything is necessary anymore. I know I'm eating less and less and less. I take my minerals and my Realign and my Blue Ice Royal. What else? I'm taking a vitamin C until ours comes and a probiotic and that's what sustains me.
Yep. Very good. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Let's see. Now, Sherry's typing in, when will Dr. Dean go to Taiwan? Carolyn, do we know anything about that yet?
Not yet. We're still waiting on whether it's late this year or early next year, but we're going.
Very good. Amy just typed in, just home from worky work. Amy, I always say worky work, girl. Right now, jumping from walking on, my right foot was jumping from walking on cement all day. Just sat down and rubbed, massaged a few drops of straight Remag on my whole foot and ankle area, followed with the Remag lotion. Happy to say relief has begun. Life is good. Cheers to Dr. Dean and Ginny. Thank you, Amy. Oh, that's a good little story right there.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Just so much fun. Yeah, just so much fun.
Actually, Jenny, one thing I meant to ask you to give Rachel a yay. So if you could do that, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I should have said yay. I'm sorry, Rachel. Here is your overdue yay. Yes, absolutely. And the Empress typed in and said, yes, she is doing raw and cooked heart, liver, and kidneys and has been very helpful. So she's enjoying it, very, very much so. Yes, I understand organ meats are very powerful for the body.
She would be doing it organic for sure.
Yeah, definitely organic. Yeah, she said it was her pleasure to respond. Thank you. And Reiner typed in and said, what a delight to know you zoomed in from non-physical to help that lovely Rachel who just called in. You two seem to be charged with even more significant energy on tonight's show. Empowering indeed. Big hugs to both of you. Thank you. So now you have to give a yay to Reiner too. We don't have to. We want to. We want to. Ooh, the children have gone wild on tonight's show. Okay, and let's see what else. Let's see. Mary, I'm not sure these questions. I tested positive of Maltese. Is there Maltese in Restructure protein powder?
If it's a difficult question like that, just ask Mary to email in. We really have to focus on educating our audience. We are totally available to questions that individuals have, but we do like to focus on things that will help everybody.
Right. Yes, very good. So, Mary, just type in support, SUPPORT, at rnareset.com. And you can ask your questions. So when it comes to what's in our products, that's on our website. And the labels, I always make sure they're very easy to read because we have a lot of people who do have, challenges with their eye and they use readers and things like that. And you can click the zoom in button and read all of the ingredients. So as far as Restructure is concerned, there's no sweetener or anything like that except stevia in there. And the RNA powder is perfectly delicious and wonderful. And you've just got to realize, and it's not that we're unwilling for you to ask questions about our ingredients. As I said, we put our labels out and our COA, our certificate of analysis and stuff like that. But let's just keep it in perspective. Dr. Dean has been helping people with magnesium and mineral deficiency and yeast overgrowth for over 40 years. And she's so well aware of the human population and what the health challenges are right now. She would not assemble formulas that would not be beneficial for people who have digestive problems and leaky gut and yeast overgrowth and all those kind of problems and thyroid issues and heart issues. And I mean, because this is the total body reset, which is her protocol for overall wellness, is an entire system of addressing the cellular and biological needs of the body. So we're not, everything that we're doing is super wonderful, groovy, and fantastic. But definitely look at the labels and then, of course, email us at support@rnareset.com if you have any additional questions. But I say proceed with confidence. Goodness gracious. Everything is just so marvelous.
Carol is such an expert. As you go on about what she knows and what you just said the last couple of minutes, she's sitting there filing her fingernails.
Oh, my gosh. Listen to him in the kitchen throwing things around. You should
she is totally bored of herself. That's why we have to her and travel around the world and traipse around and do all these things because she's conquered death, destruction, and the grave, right, which is similar to the conquest of Christ. And she's ready to move on to more things, including heaven on earth and living forever and raising the dead. And, this is all very mundane. That's why we only do it for 2 hours. I understand, Bob. I'm with you completely. I know.
Yes, when Carol's getting the Nobel Prize, the TV will be on her, and she'll be sitting there doing little hair pickings that she does on her eyebrows and paring her fingernails and
That's
sort of looking
right.
around
She may
at
not
people.
even show up. Yes, she may not even
Yeah, that's right.
show up. She just may send me to go get it. Ginny,
Yeah.
go get that one for me. Thing for me and bring it back.
He's on the level of Bob Dylan. Dylan didn't go.
Very good. Yeah, some people don't go for those awards. I mean, it's nice to have the recognition. I just like to emphasize it because, honest to gosh, I sat in that National Institutes of Health meeting and I saw all that research and I thought about every single poor person on the face of this earth who's never even going to know what any of it even was if it wasn't for somebody like Carolyn, who's saying the public needs to know. I mean, that's really what she should be recognized for, because a lot of people don't take the time and they really don't care. They really don't.
And you're sitting there every day, more than 8 hours a day, hearing the testimonials. There's nobody who's experienced the Carolyn effect more than you.
Right? No, it's very true. I hear them all, and it's just incredible. Yeah, it's really amazing, and she is filing her nails, and I love that about her. It's wonderful.
Okay,
yeah,
on to more serious topics, Bob. Thank you for bringing me down to size.
Here's Shannon. Here's her perfect example. Shannon Register. She's typing in, I love Dr. Dean and all the products. I've been on them for 7 weeks, and I already feel a huge difference. Consistency is the key, and going low and slow. I was hoping Dr. Dean can also make a probiotic. Yes, we are. We're doing it. We're doing it. Hang in there. It's going to be super cool and groovy. I just started the RNA Reset Drops. Can you tell me any tips on taking that? Thank you for coming into my life. You are an angel from God that landed on my lap and started filing your fingernails. That is so wonderful. Oh, look, and Charlene's doing her nails while she's listening. That's so perfect. Here we go for Shannon. What do you want to say about the drops, Carolyn?
Just take them. They are our kind of mystery product, mystery body product. And, Shannon, we give people the link to our farm radish experiment webinar. It's a webinar actually on the RNA drops. I think you'll really like it. It shows the origins of them and how we don't have the $1 billion yet to do studies on the RNA drops. So we dropped the waste product from our squishing out the barley, the barley germinated seeds. We used the dried barley germinated seeds without the RNA drops in them. Anyway, we put the mash in a plot of radish seeds, and the other test plot we didn't put any mash. And at the end of 25 days, growing cycle of the radishes, we had 85 pounds of perfect radishes that the farmer could sell, and the plot without the mash and no amendments, no sprays, organic or otherwise, and it produced 3 pounds. And what happened to the other radishes? They were all wormy. The leaves of the plants were all overrun with weeds. In the mash plot, we call it Mighty Mash, we just had such a life force growing into those plants that predators were just deterred. Because what you have to think about in the world, in the earth, in the nature and God-given earth, is that predators only attack weak and dying organisms, and our mash radish plants were not weak and dying. They were so healthy. So the predators said, okay, I'll go over here where you haven't put the mash, and we'll eat up these things. And that's what happens to the body.
How could you have a garden without weeds? And there's no weeds in that plot.
Yeah, Bob loved that part. So there you go, Shannon.
Yep, very good. Yep, so just use them with joy. Use them with joy. Okay, very good. We seem to have a whole compendium of people who are either doing their nails or filing their nails. Shannon is eating raw liver with chopsticks while she's doing her nails. That's hilarious. And Jean posted the YouTube for the farm project for everybody. So you've got that to review and listen to. So thank you, Jean. Very good. Excellent, excellent. Okay.
Wow.
And where are we with our phone callers? Okay, everybody's just silently observing, listening to the soothing tones of Dr. Dean.
See, Ginny.
What else? Yes.
For my stereotypes, my mind, a woman filing their nails is the icon of female narcissism. And so that was the effect I wanted people to have of Carolyn, that she's this female narcissist worrying about her appearance while healing the world. That's what's constant in womanland.
Oh, brother.
And so they all wrote in saying, yeah, I'm doing my nails.
I'm
stop
going
yourself,
to have
Bob.
to now get a snorting kind of voice for that kind of comment, or a big boo, Bob, because Carolyn is not narcissistic in that regard, but she's highly efficient and a multitasker. That's what I know about Carolyn. She's tasking away. She is tasking away.
Yeah, we were with some
good.
people. We were with some people just this weekend. Yeah, and Bob, will you mute? We have feedback, and they were in layers of amazement that I cut my own hair, and what else was there? No, Bob, don't get on. But I don't have time to go and get my nails done. So yeah, I'm going to do my own nails. I'm going to pluck my own eyebrows. I'm going to cut my own hair, and it just saves time. It helps with my multitasking life, besides the fact that I'm probably living in other worlds, too, to get all the stuff done that gets done around here.
They were amazed that you cut the back of your hair, the back of your head, without a mirror.
Yeah.
Yes, it is quite impressive. Right? It is quite impressive. I've seen it myself. Yeah, very sweet, very sweet. But that's just the no nonsense kind of very Scottish part of Dr. Dean that just is like, let's just get this done. Let's take care of this. Let's do this. Let's move on. No wasting, no time wasting. Let's just accomplish things. And that's what we do. We just accomplish things and make things available for people and have fun and enjoy ourselves.
Yep. And look at this quick testimonial. My wife and I are 74. She had a stroke September 2011. I dropped her blood pressure about 20 systolic with magnesium so she can get off her toxic drugs. Me, I had a calcified mitral valve 3 years ago. After the same regimen of taking magnesium, it's back to normal now. What can I say? Just keep doing what you're doing. So I don't know if that's a REMAG user or someone that reads a book. I mean, that book is around the world. I think Taiwan is interested in us. We met a doctor at the NIH conference who was so excited to meet me because the book is translated in Taiwanese. And we have people all over the world who are reading the book, taking magnesium. The ones where the magnesium isn't quite working for them, they will order the REMAG. I mean, it's just the way the information is spreading all over the world.
Yeah, it's very, very fun, and it's neat. Eastern Europe is a huge area where the book is being translated into many languages, Czechoslovakian and German and all kinds of things, and it's going to Polish. And, I mean, it's just incredible. It's so much fun. It is so much fun. Yeah, very, very cool. So again, we're putting the Pico Silver on sale this week. You'll get your announcement on Wednesday. There'll be a code in there for you. Be sure to take advantage of that. And we're just so happy to be able to do that because we really want everybody to be able to enjoy. And then just do the most sweet and pleasant thing like our other friends did this evening. Shannon, typing in and Amy typing in and sharing their experience. And also, let's see, who else was it? Somebody else typed in about their Danny in Kentucky. And let us know what the Pico Silver is doing for you. And then finally, as I'm scrolling through, I just missed this little question from Tamara who said, I have a horrendous sugar addiction. Please remind me what the current reading assignment is to remedy this.
The current reading assignment. Good grief. What can
Well, it's a future reading assignment because you're coming out with your sugar book, right, Carolyn?
Right. I mean, basically, shoot, I think we find when people are on our products, and especially if you take the restructure and take a hit of RNA drops when you feel a craving, that will satisfy the craving. And then usually by the end of a week or 10 days without desserts and sugar every day, people lose the taste for sugar. And they find when they eat, what they used to eat in terms of a dessert, it's just too yucky sweet for them. So that's what I would do tomorrow while you're waiting for my sugar book. And maybe I better put those things in the sugar book. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, everybody, it's been a wonderful show. Thank you, Carolyn. Thanks, everybody on the chat line, listeners, callers. So much fun, great times, and so much to be hopeful about and helpful about. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Ginny. You're
Thank
wonderful.
you, Ginny.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bill.
You've been listening to Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. Till next time, so long, and thanks for all the fish.